Thank you for being with us. Today it is Tuesday, April 15th, and we're going to be talking about the crypto market. Let's go. Remember that none of this is financial advice. XRP sitting at $2.16. No movement from yesterday. We've been bouncing if you look at this chart. A little bounce to 213, a little bounce to 217. We're in this range and it's getting tight. We're in a tight little range. You check this 7-day chart, we're trending up. We were at $1.70. We went all the way up and touched $2.21. Come on, XRP. XRP is leading the show. You think people are really watching Bitcoin at this point? If you're watching Bitcoin at this point, you're still hoping on Ethereum, you're not tuned in to the XRP, the Algos, and the HBars, I don't know, man. I don't know what convincing it's going to take for you to realize that the technology and the people building on this tech and the people choosing the winners of this space in terms of what tech the next financial institutions are going to run on are not choosing Bitcoin and ETH. They are forgotten about chains, man. If you can't get that through your head, it's probably too late. You are a tribalistic motherfucker, dog. That's all I'm saying, because you are refusing to see the writing on the wall. And the writing on the wall is everyone is saying it's time to go. Jim Cramer is saying you should own Bitcoin. Michael Saylor is telling you should sell your home for Bitcoin. At what point do you not say that's top of the cycle shit, man? And they've been extending this top for Bitcoin to be out here this whole time. That way you could sell and get an XRP and get your fucking ×5 and move on with your life. If you had one Bitcoin at 80K, you put it into XRP now and it goes on to hit $10, you would have damn near close to 400 grand. Bitcoin is not going to 400 grand anytime soon. So you got to make the call that's best for you and your family, man. You want to hold that falling sword all the way back down to 12K like Blockchain Backer says? He says Bitcoin's going back down to 12K. Are you ready for that? Are you mentally prepared for the fact that that could happen? It's not so far outside of the grain of reality. Bitcoin could easily go back to 12K, and that would be quote unquote a golden buying opportunity if you liked Bitcoin. But if you don't like the tech, it's not a golden buying opportunity. Think of it like a fucking weird car, okay? A weird car that everyone says is worth a lot of money. And then the market flips and says, you know what? We actually don't think this is worth a lot of money. It's now worth way less. Would you buy that car thinking it's worth what it's previously worth? Or would you just let it be known that it's just a weird technology? Hey, it's a weird tech. I don't know if I want that tech. I guess the Cybertruck is what I'm thinking of in my head. Like, you know, the Cybertruck, man, it doesn't look good. From the front, you can make an argument that it looks okay. From the side, it's like, why is it so long? And from the back, you're like, why is it so square? I don't have a problem with the tech and how it operates. You know, obviously some of it's attached with a piece of glue, and Whistling Diesel tore off the hitch and said, don't tow things with it. That's real life. So if you're spending $80,000 on a car, that's what you're getting for it. You can say to yourself, well, I don't think it's worth $80,000. So let's say the market goes down. The market then pegs it at $40,000. It's half off. Are you still want to blow 40K on it? I mean, in this case, if I had 80K, I'd blow it on one, right? I'd get one if it was just a free 80K. Hey, what car payment do you want? Your job can afford it all. You have money for this. I'd get one, fuck yeah. Reason being, you got to protect yourself from the mob, dog. What if you come across the angry mob one day?
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, we're going to talk again about a real-life scenario and how it can help educate us. The real-life scenario is this one right here. Now, this is not an isolated incident. We've seen a lot of this. And it has to do with what happens when cars get surrounded by angry mobs. Now, this is a really common question. I get this question at every single basic self-defense law class I teach, third Wednesday of every month at Security Gun Club. If you guys want to join us, I get this question. And the answer is a lot more complicated than you may think, and will also depend greatly on what jurisdiction you may reside in. What can you do if a mob surrounds your car?
They just said that you were going to be the semi-truck driver from the Rodney King riots. You don't remember that poor bastard, bro? He was just driving down the street at the wrong time.
Reginald Denny was the truck driver. We watched him by the millions. Here is the tape.
This is where it all started, and you heard Mark Ridley Thomas suggest that if the LAPD had come in and dealt with this in a big hurry, maybe all of this would have been avoided. And of course, the other side to that is that they were there, they knew they were outnumbered, they had to pull back for their own safety and by policy, and that's what happened. So you've got two sides to what we're seeing here. This is the beginning of it. There's the body.
There is Reginald Denny. He is the man who was pulled out of his truck, kicked and beaten terribly.
Just at the wrong place at the wrong time. He got dragged out the car and got his head bashed in, dog. You never get out the car, man. You never get out the car. They just changed the laws in Utah where it's now the person's own fault for getting in the way of the car. Okay, the car is trying to go. You have a right to passage. It is not the person protesting's right to be able to stop your moving vehicle and take you out of that car and assault you. Okay, and if you're going to be your own bank and if you're going to carry a gun, You got to know the rules of the road, baby. You got to know how to operate in such a way where you do not go to prison for the moves that you take to keep your life safe, all right? And this is real talk, man. This is real talk, and this is why you can't really afford to go to countries where you don't know the law that well. You can't afford to go to a country where you can't hold a gun, right? This is true, man. You know what happens if you bring a gun into Mexico? Fucking bad news, bro. You can't be a citizen of the U.S. bringing a gun into Mexico. Dude, I knew a guy who retired to Mexico. It was a family friend, man. A coworker of a family member. This guy retired to Mexico and he got his head cut off. He wasn't even a rich guy, man. He was rich enough to move to Mexico. You think I'm joking, bro? You think I'm talking shit, dude? This isn't something you would make up, dog. Yeah, this guy was a Seattle paralegal. He fucking retired to Mexico and he got his head cut off. What the fuck, dude? Or maybe he just got killed, bro. Maybe I am making shit up on that one. I'm sorry, bro. That's too much for me, bro. You retire, you work your whole life just to get killed. I'm walking around with that thing, bro. I am, dude. And I'm not fucking around. I'm not playing about it, bro. It's a grim reality we're living, dog. Who are you going to be? You want to be the person who makes it to the finish line? Or you want to be the person who fucking has to hand their bag off to their family and friends? I had a friend, a fucking lifelong friend, who died with 15 ETH in his bag, dog. He didn't tell anybody the codes, man. Gone forever. So you got to trust somebody. You got to trust yourself even to have some sort of contingency plan. What if your house burns down? Do you have your wallet information written down in 2 separate places? Where if your house burned down, you wouldn't lose it? What if your house got robbed, man? Where is this thing? You know, like, these are good questions, man, okay? Because if a bank gets robbed, they're not going to exactly take your money. And the bank is insured up to $250K. So this is what makes crypto different than the bank. For a lot of reasons, obviously. But the big one is the security in what happens if you get robbed. And that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one because right now banks can't hold your crypto and it's not insured. So you have to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to maintain the best control over your keys. And that means to have control over your keys. Don't be that person who says, I'm just going to store in an exchange because it's not that important. It's more than important. It's actually the most important thing that you have control over your own crypto. I can't tell you how many cryptos I've decided I didn't want to use just because I didn't have a good wallet option for them. You know what? I don't need to own 1 million tokens on 1 million different wallets. And I'm not a Ledger guy, man. I fucking bought a Ledger and they got hacked and they sent everyone my credit card info, my name, and my address. And I still get emails saying, hey, enter your 12 words from Ledger. We know your name and your address. Dude, back to the conversation. You got to keep it on you. It's a scary life, man. How emboldened are these hackers going to feel in the next coming years? It doesn't even have to be some big brazen character or some like gangster. It can be a hacker, dude. And that's why nothing should be tied to email accounts. Nothing should be in the online notes. Nothing should be saved in a gallery like a Google Photos or a Dropbox. It can't be online, your 12 word. Don't do this to yourself. Be smarter than others. Let others' mistakes be a learning lesson for you. All right, you want to lose your bag this close to the finish line? No. Hang on to your bag at all costs. From Smoke Dog, yes, institutional portfolios hold XRP. Documented. You know, I don't know where this article's from. I wish Smoke Dog would have included it. But it says altcoin trading dynamics. Altcoins, while growing, still represent a niche in institutional portfolios. Combined, Sol, Litecoin, XRP, Tron, TRX, and ADA Cardano accounted for just 4.7% of all trades. The market continued to be predominantly influenced by Bitcoin, ETH, and stablecoins, which collectively represent 95% of all transactions. On a separate note, it was interesting to observe whether any trading activity around the Trump coin followed the broader pro-crypto sentiment surrounding the inauguration. Overall, the activity remained limited. A few liquidity providers did offer quotes on the meme coin in January, leading to a brief uptick. In February and March, however, Trump coin's trading volume declined by 25 and 27%, respectively, on a month-over-month basis. We got to remember that G Trump is on Gala chain. Gala is positioning themselves to be a powerful player in the entertainment ecosystem, which crypto is going to encapsulate. Get over it. Get with the times. If you're angry at Gala because you bought the top in 2020 or because some of their games didn't pan out, dude, you're the one who's holding on to anger. Holding on to anger is like holding on to a hot coal. It doesn't do the person who you're angry at any good. Gala continues forward. They continue to build. G Trump. They accept G Trump. Gives it some utility because you could buy some NFTs on their website with it. Think about that. So Smoke Dog says it. Institutional portfolios are holding XRP. Even if it's a small percentage, are buying the XRPs of the world. 5% of the biggest institutions in the world is better than none. I didn't see Fartcoin on that list. I'm just saying, dog. And you got to remember that Jimmy Vallee said some extremely bullish shit about XRP back in the day. Look at Jimmy Vallee. He was a player in that financial institution world, man. He really was. And he predicted that XRP was going to go upwards of $10,000 a token. To be specific, he said it would go up to $30,000 a token. And people said this guy's out of his mind. But look at his background, man. Look at his background, all right? He was a partner at Jones Day. He was a partner at Paul Hastings. He was a partner at Winston & Strawn LLP. He's now the managing director of Val Hill Capital, and he's a partner for Val Hill Advisors. So who are we going to listen to? You want to listen to Joe Schmo, who loves ETH and Bitcoin because somebody told him to fucking 5 years ago? Because Jim Cramer told him it's a good buy? Or you want to listen to fucking Jimmy Vallee from Val Hill Capital? And let's see what he says about himself in his about. A U.S. business author and venture capitalist labeled in the media as among America's top energy deal makers. Over 2 decades experience advising public and private companies, MLPs, investment banking firms, sovereign wealth and private equity funds, and more than 100 billion worldwide MMA transactions. The author of Amazon #1 bestseller, Giant Shifts, Energy Trends Reshaping America's Future.
Where do you feel that XRP, just based on your honest opinion, is going to hit, say, a month after regulation?
Yeah. So we believe that the last domino to fall on regulation right now is the SEC lawsuit, and that could be resolved in a variety of ways, but it could also be resolved in regulation coming in over the top. We know it's imminent, though, right? So when I say imminent, I would be surprised if a quarter from now we're really still embroiled in the SEC lawsuit, because I think the state of affairs throughout the world is such that we're going to need a solution like an XRP for liquidity purposes sooner rather than later. So the question is then, okay, we've magically resolved it. Where does the price go? It's easy to project that it's a double-digit number. So I think it immediately shoots up to a $10, potentially $20. The wild card to me is that there is actually a deal to be done among the central banks and governments to basically have XRP work as the world's bridge currency, a neutral asset that could be traded between the central banks to move a specific type of fiat to another type of fiat. If that's what occurs, it's back to what we were discussing earlier. It's got to cover kind of all the money. And I think you're looking at a range that XRP would settle on agreement. So this would happen instantaneously, somewhere between $10,000 and $35,000 a coin. And our lives will be, maybe the same, maybe different. I don't know. Probably a little different.
Which I appreciate people making bold predictions, man. You see how I'm not here being a predictor of things? I just like to look at other people's predictions. I don't know what we're going to do day to day, dog. I really don't. All right? We're sitting in this sideways trend. We could go down. We could go up. We could fucking moon. We could be dancing on the moon together. My opinion is that we're going to go from $7 to $13, and then we're going to experience a major backtest. The market as a whole, it'll be the end of the super cycle. Bitcoin will go back down to 12K. Ethereum, who knows where it'll go? I think Ethereum's already on the falling sword, to be honest. You look at that chart. It's not good. Okay? It's not good. But we still have people who are out here holding the bag for Ethereum. They're going to hold it all the way down. They're going to hold it all the way down to the last badger dancing. All right, this is also from Smoke Dog. To Creum CEO, Ripple is building the new Wall Street with XRP in the hidden road. Let's give this a listen. It's only 35 seconds.
Store of value. And I think that other cryptos, including XRP, have a use case, a legitimate use case. I think XRP's is a wonderful working model. I think that it's only going to get better. They made an acquisition today where I believe they bought a prime broker, and that's really big news because that means there'll be almost instantaneous settlement across all asset classes inside that prime broker. It'll be a wonderful start to the new Wall Street, that's based on blockchain that moves really quickly. No more 3 days for wire transfers. We're gonna have instant money.
Then we have this year highlighted. Ripple plans to leverage the deal to scale its RLUSD stablecoin used by Hidden Road as collateral and integrate post-trade activity into XRPL and Ripple payments. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse sees the acquisition as pivotal for crypto adoption, further supported by recent U.S. regulatory shifts. What we don't understand, being the people who are too close to the wall, being these investors who have been here for 8 years, is that this shit isn't an overnight flip of the switch, man. This shit is such a long, drawn-out game that it needed to be planned for the last 25 years. And if you don't think that's real, look up what David Schwartz fucking patented while he worked for the NSA in the 1980s. He was talking about cryptography, man. Look up what Ryan Fugger was talking about crypto before they built Bitcoin. Bitcoin was that beta test coin that they unveiled to the masses. They went bottom up. Meanwhile, Ripple and XRP went top down. Dude, things only get distributed top down if they're going to survive long term. They do, okay? They have to be adopted at the top, and then they have to be given to you from the top. The narrative has to come from the head of command. If it doesn't, no one's going to be on board. This is real life here, man. And so it's not enough that we have small little countries using XRP to fucking maneuver their stablecoin. It's not enough. We could look up tiny countries using it. Okay, it's not enough that one bank in Japan is set up to use it. We need everybody to fucking say yeah. We need America, the USA, to say yeah. Yeah! This is our shit, dog. This is that new Wall Street, and this is how we're gonna fucking leverage it. Oh yeah, and that 36 trillion of debt, poof. That shit's gone just like that because USA owns 40 billion XRP or whatever the hell they're going to own. They're going to own however many XRP. Who knows if they're going to take over the escrow? I don't know. XRP was used to pay off the 100 million they had to give. Was it 25 million they had to give the SEC? XRP was used to pay off the SEC during that settlement lawsuit, I believe. And the Ethereum CEO said as well, I like XRP. It will be used as a tool in the future to move money. Dude, you can use it as a tool to move money now. That's the thing. It's so fucking easy, man. I had some developers who were over in India, and we had to use these fucking shitty little apps, man. And they took fucking Payoneer. We had to use fucking this shitty app Payoneer, which was like Venmo, but you send international transfers. And so I would send them my USD, and then they would send the developers their Indian rupees. And there was a fucking downtime, and I had to pay a fee to Payoneer, and there was a fee for the people to cash it out, and the fucking people had to pay a fee to their bank to cash it out. It's like your non-bank ATM fee and the fee from the ATM. It sucks. You don't want to have to do that every time, okay? You know how big remittances are? You know how much money is moved annually? We're talking about quadrillions. And then you add in Forex, you add in the stock market, you add in the real estate market. Everything is going to be tokenized. The assets that are for real and that are going to be here for the next 5 to 10 to 20 years are going to be such winners in this space that just by being here and owning a little bit, you will be a motherfucking legend to the people you know. Seriously, I already know some people who are legends like that. That's from the past, man. And the past isn't going to have lightning strike twice. Bitcoin and ETH won't be the players of the future because their technology doesn't hold up, man. And I'm here to talk shit until the end of time to say that. Until my voice goes, dog, I'm going to keep saying it. Bitcoin and ETH aren't going to be the ones who perform like Bitcoin and ETH did the past 16 years. You're going to want to get in on the next ETH, man. And what's that? I think it's algorand or Flare. I really do. I think that Flare is providing ETH 3.0 and people don't even see it. Ripple built Flare. If Ripple built Bitcoin and if ETH was somewhat spun off from a potential Ripple intern back in the day, think about this. Did Ripple have their hands in so many pies that started this shit? Ripple's the motherfucking, I mean, it's like that movie Now You See Me. Ripple's Mark Ruffalo, dog, and we don't even realize it. David Schwartz is Mark Ruffalo. The whole time he's leading us on this crazy goose chase, posting these troll shits online. Dude, think about it, man. Just take a step back and just think about it from what would be the craziest scenario. It would be that Ripple, the team that released the second cryptocurrency, the team that was the quote-unquote black sheep of crypto because they embraced the financial institutions and regulations over all these years, was actually the guys who gave us what everyone loved. And everyone loved the decentralized Bitcoin. Even though we know proof of work doesn't work. This has been said to nauseam, okay? If you get 51% of the miners in a communist country that's all in agreement on what they want to vote for the network, then you could change shit. You could fucking black label addresses, man. One country could try to send fucking money to another country, but you could fucking stop that transaction. You could say, no, this address is banned now until they bend over and do what we want them to do. That's all I got for you guys today, man. I'm a big XRP guy. XRP to me has been that golden goose of FOMO and hopium for the past 7-8 years. Every time I read an XRP article, it brings me back to day one, where I'm thinking about how XRP is going to be helping take over part of Swift. It's going to be integrated into Swift, but this time it's going to be a US-based technology, and we're going to be moving the trillions, taking in whatever we can to help the US economy. I mean, if XRP truly is this asset that's going to go to these prices, what price does it need to go to based on how many the US holds where we could get out of these trillions of dollars of debt? And are they going to then sell their whole bag, or how are they going to leverage it? They're probably going to do something tricky. Why would they give up the golden goose? I don't know what the answer is, but I'm happy to be here talking about it, man. It's an exciting, entertaining time. What a time to be alive, dude. Seriously, we could have been born in fucking some other fucking weird time. You could have been born in the Dark Ages, a time that didn't even exist according to my Norwegian heritage, okay? They added the 700 years to the timeline. We're not even in this time, 2025. Get that through your head, big dog. We in 1325. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
A story for another time. I'm not a historian. I'm just a person who likes to look at it and talk shit. Just like the TA and the logic on the charts, man. Come on. You listen to someone who's out there, man. All right? Alex Jones's nephew out here, dog. Zach with Web3 Reviews. Until next time, stay well.